Alright, so I'm going to show how to open up and disassemble this ASUS model GL504G notebook PC. I don't know if there's another special model name for this that people go by, but yeah, it's one of those Republic of Gamers ROG models. Okay, so let's see here. It can also be the GL504GS-DH76. So anyways, first what you want to do is remove all the screws from the bottom. So you do this with a PH1 screwdriver. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the owner of this laptop actually damaged the screw mount here, so I'm leaving that one in place. Alright, once you remove all the screws, what you'll do, open this up. So this is having a weird fan noise issue. Let me see if I can let you hear that. But anyways, as you can see under this light bar, there's an empty gap. So this is where you actually will pry up with your fingernails or your pry tool. So anyways, let me flip this over. Alright, so what I do is I get my fingernails in this gap, and I kind of just pull on it, push with my thumb on the bottom of the case, and pull with my fingernails up, okay? Just like this. I don't know if any clips were damaged from when he opened it, but it does come out pretty easily. Okay, so I'll take the cover off just like this, and hopefully I'll be able to show you the fan noise. So right now the fan's not spinning, but when this fan starts spinning, you'll hear the noise. So this fan sounds normal. You can see it spinning and you can hear it. Hopefully this fan will start spinning soon so you can hear the noise. And then I'll just shut down the computer. Here we go. It's spinning. There you go. So you can hear it. So when it spins faster and faster, it'll get noisy, and then the fan will just stop spinning. And then it will start again, and it'll stop again, and it'll start again, and it'll stop again. Okay, so I'm gonna turn off this computer now. Okay, make sure to shut it down. So there you go, the fan randomly stopped itself. The other one's still spinning. Okay, so the computer, oh, see, it goes on and it goes off and it goes on and off by itself. All right, so I think what happened, what caused this is the customer used one of those air cans, and it, you know, when you blow it, it gets really cold. So you want to avoid that because it creates condensation, and when condensation gets in the bearings, the grease gets screwed up. So you want to be very careful with that. Okay, so first thing you want to do is disconnect the battery. So I'm going to show you a close-up of that. So here's the battery. All right, the battery connector is right here. So to disconnect that, this silver piece, you just slide it up like that, push it forward. After you do that, just get underneath the white part of the connector and then just pull it up, just like this, okay? You can use pry tools, but I find fingernails work a lot easier. All right, after you do that, let's see, we're gonna remove the screws just to take the battery out. You don't actually, I probably don't have to do this to do what I'm repairing. I'm just repairing the fan, but I'm just gonna take it out just to show you, okay? So there's 3 screws along the top part of the battery. Sorry, it's going out of view. Let's remove those 3 screws. The other one you didn't see is this one, okay? And then there's 2 screws at the bottom here, so remove those 2. I actually might not take this out because it looks like there's adhesive holding it in place. But you basically just pull the adhesive up. So let's see here. There's also, okay, let's see if it will come up without me taking all that stuff out. Okay, so I can somewhat peel it. It is caught under here, so you do have to peel it up. So there you go. Battery comes out just like that. Let's see, is there a battery model number? This is pretty dusty inside, so I'm going to clean that as well. I have a little trash can next to me, and I'm just going to use a toothbrush and brush it off, okay? Okay, so the battery, let's see here. Is there a model number? So you got a model. It's really hard to see, but it's, let's see if I can show you. C41N1731, and I don't know what this other number below it is, but hopefully, I don't think you can read it. Oh, there you go. Okay, so that's the model number that I see on here. It's a 15.4 volt, 66 watt hour battery, and its capacity is 4,335 milliamp hours. I don't know what this 4,210 milliamp hour minimum. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We'll set the battery aside. I'm going to clean out the case a little as well because it is also dusty. Just brush it up. Okay, so he told me that the sound will start happening after he blew it out with those air cans. So again, I don't like those air cans. Just get yourself something like this. I mean, it's more work because you have to squeeze it and stuff, but I mean, exercise your hand, I guess. Alright, so this fan was the one making the noise. It's kind of hard to tell, but I think it's really hard to tell just by feeling it, because this one spins pretty well still. So it's kind of strange that that's causing issues. I don't think you can take this fan out without undoing the entire heatsink. So to do this, we are going to have to take out the wireless card antennas, and then we're going to have to remove the entire heatsink. So you will see the entire process for that, okay? So peel up the adhesive here just to get it out of the way. There is the CMOS battery underneath this, so just be careful that you don't tear that. If you want to see, I'll show you actually also the SSD. There's the one screw here holding that in place. Okay. Alright, once you get that screw out, then you can take the SSD out. Just make sure the adhesive's not on it. Okay, I'm moving it the wrong way. There we go. So take this out. There is a thermal pad underneath, so be careful that you don't get that all dirty. Okay, this is a Western Digital NVMe. So this is a M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD. So just keep that in mind. If you wanted to upgrade yours, you would put an M.2 SSD PCIe NVMe card. Alright, so the wireless card, just like every other one, there's the wireless antennas. Okay, so underneath the SSD, we got the CMOS battery connector. Let's see here. Sorry, it's wobbling around. Okay, so the CMOS battery connector. Then you got this connector. Where's this going to? I'm guessing this goes into the camera section of the screen. Then you got the fan connector here. And then you got some more antenna cables here. Oh, there's a lot of antenna cables on this thing. Looks like I don't have to actually remove these antennas. I don't know where all these antennas are going. There's a whole bunch. So there's antenna cables here that are going into the screen. Then there's antenna wires that go here. I guess the board brings it into the screen. And then you got some more antenna cables here that go to... Sorry, I need to zoom out. But yeah, so it's pretty interesting, this design. The card has its own antennas that go into the board. Then the antennas that go into the screen connect to a separate spot. And then there's antennas that connect down here as well. It's pretty amazing how they added so many antennas. Okay, so we're going to take out the connectors for the fan. So to do that, I just use my fingernails. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see here. There you go. Hopefully that's close enough. But basically, I use my fingernails on the two wings of the connector, and I just wiggle the connector. Just keep wiggling it, and it'll pop out. You don't need to put too much force or you can damage something. We are also going to remove this. I believe it's the webcam microphone connector, so just wiggle that out and pull that out as well. Okay, so how do I get all these connectors out? They put so many adhesive strips of stuff on here, so it's kind of annoying. So you're gonna have to peel up. Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting that if I zoom in, you're not gonna see anything. So we got to pull this adhesive off, all right, or at least move it out of the way, and then you can get this cable out. So technically, you don't have to get all these cables out. I'm just gonna undo them and then leave them attached to the heatsink. If I have to remove them later, I'll do that. So keep in mind, the black one is on the left, the white one's on the right. I don't know if it really matters, but to remove the antenna cables, let me zoom in again. Hopefully I won't forget to zoom back out, but here you go. So the antenna cables, to remove them, I just go underneath the tail and then pop it up. In this case, you'll probably want to use like a small needle or something. So I have this needle with like a bend in the end, so I can use it as a hook, and then I just get underneath the cable and pop it up just like that. Same thing with the black cable. Pop it up just like that. All right, so you got a speaker cable here. You got, oops, let me zoom out so I can explain all the components. All right, speaker cable up here comes out just like the fan one. Just pinch the thing and wiggle it out. Let's see, we got a hard drive caddy here, but it doesn't have the cable, it looks like. So I don't know if they provided it. Let's see if I take this out. So there's 3 screws holding this. I'm gonna put this tray back after I just look underneath. But this is for a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive. You can put a SATA SSD, but you will need an adapter. It doesn't come with one. Then you got the light bar here, and it has 2 connectors going into the motherboard or the logic board for that. You got this connector for the touchpad buttons, and to take these out you just flip these little latches up and then you can pull the cables out. And then the cable for the touchpad, the cable for the keyboard, same thing, flip this thing up and then you can pull it out. All right, I'm gonna leave that in there. Let's see what else. You got the keyboard backlight cable here. You got another speaker cable here. You got, what is this? RGB backlight. So this is for more lights, I think, inside the screen. Did they label this one? Oh yeah, so this is the camera cable. Oh, it's nice, they actually labeled all of these. So there's the SSD goes here, they labeled that. This is a debug connector. What is this? Another debug connector. This small connector here is for the hard drive, but it didn't come with the hard drive adapter. If you bought this, it might have come with the adapter and they might have just left it inside the box. They should have found a way to put it inside here, because most people, they don't really check in the box for all that stuff and they throw it in the trash. So that's kind of a bad idea, but yeah. You might want to check if you bought this computer recently to see if you have that hard drive adapter inside the box. Okay, so let me put all these screws back in. I think I explained most of it. They have this one, I don't know what this board is for, but it's running across, it's connected. It's just pressure, put in place by pressure. So there's 2 screws and then you can actually pop this whole thing off. You got the LCD connector here. To remove these, make sure after you disconnect the battery that you held the power button for 15 seconds. And then if you want to remove this, I didn't do that, so I'm not going to remove the LCD connector. But to remove the LCD connector, you just pull up the thing on this strap, and then I just pry underneath one corner while I'm pulling on it. And that's how you remove that. It's called an LVDS connector. Okay, so let's see. Is there something here? DC board. Huh. PCB made in China. So I don't know what this little board's for. I don't know. It doesn't really say. It just says DC board, which I would think is like the charge port, but the charge port's on its own thing. Unless, no, it's all one board. Yeah, that's strange. All right, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the heatsink. So we disconnected the cables. Don't forget to disconnect the fan cable up here. There's not as much room here, but same idea. Just get on both sides of the connector and then just wiggle it while you're kind of pulling it back and it will pop out. Okay, just like that. So let's take all these screws holding the fan down. So there's one screw here. Oh, I'm gonna actually put the SSD back as well so it doesn't get dirty. Actually, I need to leave it out because I have to put these connectors back later. Okay, so we'll take out the fan screws. All right, get the other fan screw. I don't know if they're hiding any other screws there. So we got those 2. So this is already moving. All right, so now we got to take out all the heatsink screws. And then if there's screws holding this fan, okay, we do have to take out this board. So I'm gonna take that out as well, since it's on top of the fan. So we'll take out those 2 screws. I guess you get to see how this board comes out. So once you get that, you just get your fingernails or pry tools underneath and you just pull this up just like that. Same thing with this side. Okay, and it comes out just like that. Here you can see the pins on the board. It's kind of blurry, sorry. Yeah, and make sure you put it the right way. I don't know why it says bot here. That usually means the bottom. Oh, okay, so it means you put this face down. That's doesn't really mean anything. So the main thing is make sure that you put this the right way. I guess you can't put it the wrong way, so yeah. So it's pretty straightforward. Okay, we got the 2 screws out for that fan as well. I don't think you can, I hate how they made it so you have to take the whole heatsink out to get this fan. That's that's a ridiculous design. Okay. Alright, I guess we do have to lift it all out, so we are going to have to redo all the thermal paste. So let's remove the 8 screws holding those in place. I don't think you need a close-up for that, but I'll do it anyways. Alright, then there's like a warranty sticker here. Alright, well, warranty's gone now. I'm going to take that sticker out. Okay. These stickers, they're like really crumbly, so it's hard to remove all the residue from it. It's kind of messy. So I'm just going to get the outer layers of it off. Okay. Sorry, I'm doing this off camera, but yeah. Okay, let's come on, scrape that stuff off. And if you want to clean off the screw completely, you will have to use like a needle or something to scrape it out because there is like residue that gets stuck in there. So let me get this out and just pick out the sticker residue. Okay, that's probably as good as it's gonna get unless I spend a whole bunch of time on it. I don't want to spend too much time on this. Okay, so we took out that screw. Now we just got to get the other 7 screws out. Okay. Make sure if you're removing these screws that you get good pressure in the screw, that your screwdriver is not going to pop out, because you don't want to strip the screws. Okay. So you got that. Okay, hopefully this fan will be repairable, because sometimes the fans aren't repairable and then we'd have to wait and get a replacement. Okay, so we got those 4. Let's get the other 4. Oh. Okay. Just like that. And we got all 8 screws and the 2 fan screws on each side. So make sure you remove those. Let's see here. Okay, so these 2, and then these 8. Once you do that, you should be able to lift the fan and everything out. Be careful. You don't want to try and force it out too quick, because you don't want to bend these, what do you call the heat pipes. Usually I'll use like these more solid areas to kind of pry the thing up, but it also is bending. So, where's the best spot? This thing is so flimsy. Okay, so we might have to use the heat pipes to do it, but pull it slowly and gently. Okay, maybe pry from the little square of the CPU. They made this one, it sticks so strong. So it's held in so many areas. I don't know if there's any hidden screws that we're missing. I don't think so. Okay, so we are just gonna have to carefully pull this all up. All right, there we go, it's coming out. Okay, just go slowly. There we go. Oh, all the heat pads underneath were kind of like melting. Jeez. So you can see this one's very bendy. Okay, so now we need to repair this fan, but as you can see, it's stuck in place here. So let's see what we gotta do. Let's clean the dust off. I don't know if there's much to show on this because this I might have to do it off camera since this stuff is all attached. Let me see if I can turn this around and then I'll show you here. Okay, so we got it this way. All this heat paste, wow. Alright, so I don't know why, but now the computer places, they're using this goopy heat pads. Alright, I'm gonna have to undo all the wiring for this so that I can get this piece out. So let's see here. This is kind of gonna be a pain. Let's see, I have to undo all this adhesive. So I'm gonna have to undo a lot of adhesive to get this thing apart and put it back together. Okay, so let's take out the 2 antenna wires and the webcam cable. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, be careful. Okay, there we go. And then just peel all this away from the cabling, from the adhesive. There we go. And we can set this aside. Be careful with all the paste stuff all over the place. Okay. So we are going to have to redo the thermal paste on the CPU and GPU. But the rest, we're going to leave it. The little blue pads, we'll leave them be. Okay, so we got this out. Let's see if I can do this without getting the stuff everywhere because I am going to have to cut the pads off. Let's see, we got the GPU. So the GPU fan was the one making the noise. So it was this way, so we're gonna have to do this one. Okay, so to remove this, what you wanna do is underneath, let's see, do I have to cut anything from here? Nope. Okay, so there's 2 here, and then there's 3 or 4 there. So what we need is a razor blade. So I'm gonna pause the video, grab a razor blade, and I'll be back. Alright, so I got a razor blade, and we're gonna try and cut off those plastic tabs, and hopefully we can fix the fan with that. Okay, so what you want to do, I might have to do this off camera otherwise I'm going to get this blue goop stuff everywhere. Let's see if I can hold it like this. And then you basically just cut these little plastic nibs off. Let me show you if I can do a close up. Okay, so we need to cut these little plastic nibs off. So do it like this. This is going to be tough to show on camera, but I might have to skip it if I can't because I might not be able to show this. Okay, basically just get underneath and cut these nibs off. You have to kind of move the blade side to side and it will slowly cut it off. Okay, so just do that and do that with all of them. This is going to be kind of a pain. It's going to be a long video. I don't think anyone's going to watch this whole one, but we'll see. Okay, I'm going to have to turn it to myself. So you probably won't be able to see it now, but let me see if I can cut this off. Yeah, this is very difficult to do while trying to record it. Let me see. I'll try and hold it on my arm like this. I don't know if somebody has a special tool that makes this easier, kind of like the I don't know, they have like some nail or bolt cutter kind of tool, but one that the sharp edges are completely flush with the surface. That's what I need. Okay. This one's very difficult to chop off. Don't worry about scraping up the metal piece. It can't really be helped. Okay, just like that. Make sure you got all of it off, and you'll know because when you lift this, you can actually separate it from the fan below. Okay, so there's one underneath here. And then there's 3 more, okay? So just cut all these off. Once you get the idea, you can just go ahead and try and cut them all off yourself. You don't have to watch a video of me cutting every one of these little tabs off. Yeah, this tape's in the way, but let's see here. It's so difficult to do this with this tape and also while recording. Let me see if I can stick something to this piece of tape so it stays folded flat. There we go. I think it's just cutting into the metal, so it's not, oh, there we go. Okay, got that one off. All right, let's see here. So, because I'm trying to avoid getting that blue stuff out, it's more difficult. I probably should have cut these plastic pieces while it was still attached to the motherboard, but I already took it out now, so no, we're just gonna do what we can. All right, so I don't want that there. Holding the fan up now. Be careful not to cut yourself. I'm doing something dumb and cutting towards myself. Let me actually cut away from myself. Man, this, I think I need a sharper, I need a new razor blade. Okay, there we go. 2 more to go. I'm going to turn it sideways like this. Hopefully that will help. Okay. So basically they use melted plastic to hold the fan in place, and we're just cutting those melted tabs off. Okay, so there's 1 more here. And hopefully after that we can pull the fan out and hopefully it's going to be repairable. There we go. All right, so now that we got those all out, let's flip it back over and see if we can pull the fan out. There's adhesive all over this thing, so we are probably going to have to peel all that adhesive out as well. But let's see, you have to also, oops, sorry. You have to also get between the metal layer when you try and pull it out. Okay, so this metal plate, hopefully you can pull it out. Let's see here. Actually, I think we just pull, oh, I might not have had to take everything out of the computer. Okay, so, well, I did this so you don't have to. Now that we cut those out, it looks like this metal plate you can lift up separately, I hope. Let me peel this out. Well, his fan was probably getting bad anyway, so we'll redo the thermal paste. Yeah, so we didn't have to take the heatsink out, it looks like. And now we can actually, here you can see there's a whole bunch of dust in there. So you want to get all of that out. Okay. Yeah, so this actually you could do while it's still attached to the computer so that you don't have to redo the thermal paste, but I guess now you guys will get a thermal paste application video. Normally I wouldn't take the whole heatsink out. Okay, let's get all of this out. Okay. Man, it's so dusty on this thing. Let's see here. So I'm just cleaning all the dust out of here using a needle. Probably have to use the air blowing thing after this. I'll try using the small air blower and blow that all out as much as I can. Okay, so lots of dust is coming out. All right, so as far as repairing the fan, If you have to replace the fan, then yes, you have to take this out. So the fan is held in place with adhesive, but you can separate this. It's not part of the heatsink. So I think if you pulled it hard enough, no, there's a metal piece over here, huh? Okay. No, you do have to take the board out or the heatsink out if you want to replace the fan. Is there a fan model number? There's no fan model numbers here, but this is the GPU fan and then this is the CPU fan. So the way you can tell is the GPU has all these extra heatsink areas for the memory, and then the CPU is just this part by itself. All right, so anyways, now that we got this up, we can pull this out, or we should be able to. Let's see, can we? This bearing doesn't want to come out, so... Oh no, don't tell me we have to replace the fan anyways. Okay, I'm just trying to yank the fins out from here. It kind of moves up and down, but it doesn't want to pop out. Okay, let's peel the sticker off and see if there's a way to add grease to this manually from the other side. Nope. There's a golden metal indestructible plate right there. So we are going to have to find a way to just yank this thing out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back in the motherboard. So I'm going to clean out the thermal paste first. So we have to clean off this dark crusty stuff. So as you can see, normally it's really pasty, but it's gotten so bad that it's all dried up. So the computer was actually having heat issues, it seems. So what we're gonna do is we'll take some napkins. Okay. Usually I'll take this over the trash can, so I'm gonna have to take this to the side and I'll angle it so that all this stuff falls out into the trash instead of falling into all these other areas. Okay, so I'll do that real quick. I'll pause the camera and I'll be back. Alright, so basically what I did, I took the paper towel over the trash can and just rubbed it in a circle like this, and all the stuff kind of stuck to each other and kind of pushed the thermal paste off. And then what I do is I take some 91% isopropyl alcohol and I just spray it on the paper. And then after that, I'll just take that and then I'll rub that to get the residue off. Okay? So since that paste turned all, here you can see it's kind of coming out. If you want, you can do this multiple times until the napkin comes out clean, but it's not that important to get it 100% clean, because the thermal paste stuff that was already on there is basically going to do the same job as the new stuff you're putting. You kind of just want to remove any rough surface that it creates, so that when you put the new paste, it will get a better adhesion, or not really adhesion, but fill all the pockets better. So let's keep going. It is leaving a lot of residue. Okay, some of the dark stuff is also oxidation on the copper, so you can see it's getting a lot cleaner. Okay, I'll maybe do one more just to make sure. Okay, and then don't forget to do the same thing on the CPU and GPU dies. So I'll show that as well. Okay, that's clean enough. Usually after that, I'll take the dry side and then just dry it off, even though it'll dry itself really fast. Okay, set that aside. Okay, and then we'll take this and we'll want to get this stuff off as well. So again, I'm going to hold it over the trash can and then rub it so the stuff doesn't land all over the board. Sorry, you can't even see what I'm doing. But this, I'm going to rub all this stuff off just from the CPU and GPU. I'm going to leave the blue stuff alone. Okay, so I'll be back. I'm going to pause again and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, so I got most of it off. So now I'm going to clean it with the rubbing alcohol. So let me show you here. Okay. So we can. I'm going to add the rubbing alcohol, and then we're going to clean this off. The outer edges aren't too important because you can't really clean that all perfectly. It's all trapped between like capacitors and things like that. So just clean what you can. They put some Kapton tape on the outside, so it's really difficult to get over there. If you need to clean it, you'd have to peel all that stuff off. So we're just going to leave it. Okay. And once you do that, I'm going to use this, blow off any lint. Okay. Alright, so now let's add some new thermal paste. Putting these cables is going to be a little bit of a problem, but we'll see. Okay, so for thermal paste, you don't really use too much. I don't know if that's a scratch or what. Okay, it looks like there's a scratch on there that won't come out. So anyways, for the thermal paste, you don't actually apply too much. Let me show you, because usually people always overdo this. But for this one, you basically put about the size of an uncooked rice. Okay. Uncooked long grain rice. Alright. So I leave it as a mountain like this, so that way when you put the heatsink on, it will spread it out and push all the air bubbles to the outside. Alright, and then for the GPU here, similar, but a little bit more. Okay, it's more similar to like a cooked piece of rice, maybe a little bit bigger. Alright, so try and keep that more towards the center. There we go. Okay, so just like that. Now we're going to put the heatsink back in place, and then hopefully I can remove the fan from there. If not, we are going to have to replace the fan. Okay, so we got this. Flip it over, make sure this is all clean. Grab that. Okay, let's see. And then the hard part is we're gonna have to route all these wires back in. Okay, so let's put this in first on this side. Kind of want to get everything lined up properly. It's a little bit tricky on here. Hopefully I can tuck the wires underneath after I already dropped this in place. Make sure the screw mounts line up, and then drop it down. Okay, just like that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these in first. I'm gonna loosely put the 4 screws here. Okay, so we'll take the fan screws. I'll put one here loosely, just so it doesn't move around. Another one here, again, just so it doesn't move around. After we do this, we are going to have to add some adhesive or something to keep this from flying back around. So I'll do that. Okay, so we'll put the other 2 screws here loosely. Don't forget to add this thing back first. Okay, actually this one, this side, I'll tighten all the way because it doesn't really matter since I'm not lifting up that side. Okay, I guess make sure these cables are out of the way. You don't want to smash them with this. Alright, once you get it in, just push it back down. Alright, grab the screws, put them in. Okay, these screws I'm going to actually tighten all the way. Just like that. And just like this. Okay, now that we got those screws tightened in place, we can plug this fan back in. Just line it up, push it back in. Right, what else we got? The SSD we'll save for later, battery save for later. Then we got the 4 screws, the 8 screws for here. Okay, so I'm gonna try and route, let me see if I can do this first. I'm gonna actually tighten these screws down, and then I'm gonna try and pull this fan propeller out. Okay, hopefully this propeller will come out. You kind of want to keep even pressure when you pull this up. You don't want to kind of pry from one side or you can damage it. Okay, I mean it's already damaged, but let's see here. Come on. If someone had a tool that can just grab all the way around, that would work really well, but the only tool I got for that is my hand, which it lets me kind of grab all the way around. So let's pull this straight up. It doesn't want to pop off. So I don't think we can repair this fan actually. I might have to tell him that the fan needs to be replaced because it doesn't seem to want to come off. So yeah, I don't know. Let's try with this and with my... Yeah, it doesn't want to come up. I don't know how I'm going to remove this. So if you have a bad fan, you're likely going to have to replace the whole fan because this doesn't seem to want to come out at all. Come on. I'm worried the fan's just going to break, but it's kind of the only option right now. So I don't know, it doesn't want to come up. Well, since that doesn't want to come up, I don't know. Well, we're just gonna put the screws back in for now then. At least, let me see, do I need to do anything to be able to get this through? No, I can get those connectors through without taking the whole fan out. So I don't know if you guys want to watch me struggle with this. I'm gonna keep trying to pull it out. Whether it breaks it or not, either way we're gonna have to replace the fan, so might as well, if we break the fan, we replace the fan. Otherwise we're just replacing the fan, so there's no point. Alright, so let's keep trying. Jeez, this thing is really strong. So what I probably should have done is from the bottom use something to try. Oh no, the fan did break. So I guess there's not really a way we can do this. We do have to replace the fan. It won't come out. So let me realign this, at least make it usable again for now. But it looks like the fan won't come out. That's sad. We can't reuse this fan. So it's kind of a bad design. They made it so you can't repair this fan. Okay. These pieces are all kind of in the way. Yeah, it still makes that grumbly sound. So sadly, it doesn't look like there's a way to pop this fan off. I don't know. If anyone else knows a way to remove this kind of fan, let me know, but it looks like there isn't a way to do this. I don't know if there's a way to make some kind of tool. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, but that's pretty much all there is to this. I guess we'll put back the screws for the heatsink and basically just thread these wires back through. But that's pretty much all there is to this. Let's see here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the way they want you to put these screws back is this order. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. and I attach these screws loosely, and then I tighten them slowly one by one together. So just like this, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and now it's tight, so now we can tighten all of them all the way. Okay, just like this. Kind of sucks that the fan couldn't be removed. I'm sure my customer was hoping that he was going to get to use it to play today, but looks like the fan won't come out, so the GPU, if we left it as is, will kind of overheat. Alright, so there we go. Got all the screws back in. I will try a bit more to pull that thing out off camera. I'm going to see if I can design a tool to do it, but it doesn't look like it's going to come out, so yeah, I'm going to probably stop there. Then just make sure all the screws are in all the way. The rest, you get the idea. Just reattach all these connectors, the fan connector back to the fan connector, the camera connector. Of course, you have to guide these all again back underneath the adhesive here, and then you want to thread it back underneath here as well. Okay, so make sure you do that, get all the wires back in, and then that's all there is to it. So don't forget, reconnect the battery when you're done, pop that in, and then slide this down. But yeah, that's all I'm going to show. Hopefully this video helped you at least with upgrading your computer. Oh, I think I forgot to mention the RAM. So the RAM is, this is a 16 gig PC4 2666V. Oh, it's not focusing. There you go. So if you need to upgrade your RAM, you can get another 16 gig stick. You might want to check yours to make sure they're only using one stick as well, and check the speed. If you match it, it'll work a lot better than if you just get two random mismatched sticks of RAM. Alright, thanks again for watching. To put it back, you just put everything back, snap the cover back down, and put all the screws back in. Alright, hopefully this helped you. If it did, like and subscribe so that other people can find this video. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Oh, and one other thing, if you're having trouble threading this through because there's not much space, you can take the screws back out for this fan so you can kind of lift it slightly, and then you can slide this through. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.